In a peaceful kingdom surrounded by misty mountains and winding rivers, a kind couple lived quietly in a small stone cottage. They wished for a child for many years, and when the wife finally became pregnant, their hearts overflowed with joy. But as months passed, she grew weak and craved a rare healing herb called Rapunzel that grew only in the garden of a powerful sorceress named Mother Gothel. The husband, desperate to help his wife, climbed the high wall one moonlit night and picked a handful of the glowing leaves. The moment he turned to escape, Gothel stepped from the shadows. Her cloak swirled like smoke, and her voice cracked like thunder as she demanded to know why he had stolen from her sacred garden. Hearing the truth softened her anger, but her price was cruel. "I will spare you," she said, "but the child you await must be mine." With trembling hands and a breaking heart, he agreed. When their baby girl was born, Gothel arrived in a swirl of cold wind. She named the child Rapunzel after the herb that had begun this terrible bargain, and carried her away before the parents could even cry out. Rapunzel grew into a bright, gentle girl whose golden hair shimmered with magic, glowing whenever she laughed. Fearing others would discover the power of the hair, Gothel hid her deep in an ancient forest, in a tall stone tower with no door and a single arched window. Every day, Gothel would stand below and call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The girl would lower her long, shining braid, and Gothel would climb to the window. Despite the isolation, Rapunzel tried to fill her time with music, painting, weaving flowers into her hair, and watching the sky change from sunrise to sunset. She wondered endlessly what the world beyond the treetops looked like. Birds became her friends, and she often sang to them, her voice drifting like warm sunlight through the forest. One afternoon, her song traveled far enough to reach Prince Rowan, a young traveler exploring the woods. The melody was so pure and hopeful that he followed it until he found the hidden tower rising between the trees. He watched from behind a large oak as Gothel called to Rapunzel and climbed up the magical braid. When she left, Rowan remained, unable to forget the girl with the golden voice. Gathering his courage the next day, Rowan approached the tower and repeated the words he had heard. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel, startled by the unfamiliar voice, hesitated, but curiosity overwhelmed her, and she lowered her braid. When Rowan climbed into the tower, they stared at each other in amazement. Rapunzel had never seen another human besides Gothel, and Rowan had never seen someone so full of warmth despite her lonely life. They talked for hours about the kingdom, music, the festivals, the sea, and the stars Rapunzel had only read about. Rowan brought books, lanterns, and sketches from his travels. With every visit, Rapunzel's world grew wider. Soon they planned a way for her to leave the tower and finally see the world she dreamed of. But one evening, Gothel returned early and discovered Rowan. Consumed by rage, she stormed into the tower and cut Rapunzel's hair, the magical strands falling like golden tears to the floor. Stripped of its power, the braid became ordinary rope. Before Rapunzel could speak, Gothel used her magic to whisk her away to a far and lonely wilderness, determined to keep her hidden forever. When Rowan returned the next day, Gothel dangled the severed braid from the window, tricking him into climbing. When he reached the top, she let the braid fall away, and Rowan tumbled into thorny bushes below, losing his sight. For months, Rowan wandered through forests and fields, calling Rapunzel's name. He survived on the kindness of strangers and the memories of her voice. Meanwhile, Rapunzel, though devastated, discovered strength she never knew she possessed. She built a small home near a silver river and helped villagers by singing to soothe children, caring for injured animals, and offering kindness wherever she could. One bright morning, as Rapunzel sang beside the river, she heard slow footsteps. She turned and saw Rowan, fragile but still searching. She rushed to him, tears streaming down her face. As her tears touched his cheeks, his sight returned in a warm burst of shimmering light, the last trace of the magic once held in her hair. Reunited, they journeyed back to the kingdom, where Rapunzel was welcomed with joy. Gothel, now powerless, vanished into the shadows, never to be seen again. Rapunzel finally experienced the world she had only imagined: sunlit towns, ocean breezes, and endless skies. She chose to live freely, guided by courage and kindness, and became a symbol of hope to all who heard her story. And so, Rapunzel and Rowan walked forward together, proving that even those kept in the darkest towers can find their way into the light.